I just thought of reading aloud. And while I reading, I realized that Zara was not liking it. She was getting too disturbed and too engrossed in a cell, surfing in social media. Then I thought today I must talk, tell her that it's fun to read aloud. Once I remember I read a passage from Arabian Nights to a group of friends. One of a young audience friend of mine, he confronted me and he said, that isn't quite fair. I was surprised. And he further tells me that you edited those passages to make them livelier. But I said no. I didn't skip a word, and I protest. What made you think that I did? Well, he replied simply, smilingly, that is the first time I ever completely understood the story. I'm certain that is a new appreciation of the story has inspired by the enjoyment of hearing it read. My friend, reading aloud is well loved, but neglected pastime. These days, we are too involved in social media, too involved in our mobiles, and because everything is just available, audio we are hearing. But still, some of us may decide to go through a few bedtime stories for our youngsters. But by and large, we regard books as something to be taken silently, swiftly, and alone. My friend, I really plead today to everyone, for all my audiences, for more reading aloud. It is friendly, quiet, and refreshing thing to do. It makes us participants rather than spectators. Instead of sitting by to let the professional amuse or enlighten us, we can get into the act, make comfort, contend with new ideas, exercise our imaginations. My friend, reading aloud, moreover, it's a shared experience which draws people closer together. Husbands, wives, families, a group of friends can enjoy comfort, table satisfaction that comes from laughing together, learning together, from doing the same thing at the same time together. My friend, there is nothing better than family reading, a form of warm bond between parents and teenagers, young children. I remember when I started reading my first reading, recuperating in the hospitals. You see, when I was hit in army and was sent to the hospital for various operations and long time admission. So my first audience they were in the Limakong, Imphal, the Limakong Military Hospital, where I was admitted first for a long time, and thereafter military hospital, base hospital Guwahati, and further to command hospital Calcutta. You see, I met men who pronounce the all religious scriptures as dull books. When they said spellbound, as we read I read the other stories to them together. I save. I saw wounded men in embittered by pain discover that their troubles were not unique and find solace in the sufferings of the characters of the tragic stories I read them. Recently, on my reading tours, To my friends, I have seen the good reading of companionship grow in crowds of several hundreds of several thousands because we were bent on doing something together. I make sure wherever I go, I pick up a storybook and read aloud. How then do we begin reading aloud? Many people find that taking the plunge the hardest part. Some feel they will be expected to uh, like they wanted they read poems. Someone wanted to read the poetry to their wives or sweethearts, but didn't know how to start. To such as these people, I say, brace up. Wanting to begin is the only requirement. After that, choose a book you are comfortable with. Anything is worth reading if you enjoy it, I feel. Time and again, when I have finished reading to the groups in private congregations, someone will fill a book and say, "Did you say this? I read the book, I acquired the book," and then read far more beautifully than I could have read a passage that has special meaning for him. Near the top of my own list of favorites are far too many books I have, and I really love them. English authors, Urdu authors, and most of the biographies, military history. My friend, if a volume loses its sale, simply drop it if you don't like it. Experiment with several other books at once. Taking a short story from one, a chapter from another, a poem from the third. You must enjoy reading. I know a couple who never approaches the end of one book without dipping into the opening chapters of another. A sort of coming attraction, promise of things to come. Having started, go your own pace. One quick way to lose enthusiasm for reading aloud is to let it become a nightly chore. But once you start, stay with it. Don't let interruptions cool you off, or your author has a chance to get his story underway. Remember that reading aloud takes some degree of concentration. When your attention begins to wander, you have had enough. Take a break. And this is not to say that everyone must sit as stiffy alert. Ladies may knit, gentlemen may overall their golf set of the fishing tackle or whatever they can do. That refreshes, refreshes. It's rejuvenating. As the techniques of reading books aloud, above all should be a natural. Effects, sound affected. Your norm speaking voice will be your best reading voice. Your normal speaking voice. You don't have to scream. Your own interest will lend the best emphasis to the story. Do not end your evening with the closing of books. When you stop reading, begin talking what you have read. Reading aloud is fun in itself, but it is better yet when it prompts lively conversation. Two young people once told me that they had been reading the War and Peace for a year and a half. It's not that we are slow readers, they explain. It is thus that every few pages seems to suggest something fresh to us, and then we are off, simply off, talking, thinking, planning. We are not sure that we will ever finish the book, but we have learned a great deal about ourselves and our lives together. This to me is how to enjoy reading aloud, my friend. I remember a joke that at a dinner party, uh, some, you know, a very distinguished guest asked, "What kind of men deserves the most pity?" And he answered, "A lonesome man on a rainy day when he does not know how to read." Enjoy reading aloud, my friend. It has its own pleasure. Thank you very much.